and that reduces the chance of the swirl marks that are caused at microscopic levels. This is one of the very important points when you are washing or detailing. Okay guys, welcome back, and I'm going to show you how I pamper her almost once or twice a year, specifically after the monsoons. I never wipe the dirt off my bike, and this is the current condition. If you can see, it's already 3.5 years old now, but luckily I have managed to preserve the paint and not let the swirl marks take over the entire body, and thanks to the process that I'm going to follow, I'm sure this video will help you and definitely inspire you to take care of your babies. So on and off I'll be sharing some tips and tricks that should be taken care of to get this completed really in an efficient manner and satisfy your OCDs probably. Before starting the procedure, please ensure that you are not wearing rings or bracelets or anything. So please ensure that your hands are completely free of all those stuff, all the accessories. Also make sure that your belt is not exposed. In case if you are wearing a belt, your belt is not exposed, so that when you are working on the bike, it doesn't keeps on banging on the paint and cause scratches. The chain maintenance generally should be done at every 500 or max to max 1000 kilometers. I'm going to clean the chain first and then start with the washing procedure. In the end, when I'm done with all the washing water related processes, then I'll be lubing this one so that the lube stays on it. And most important thing when it comes to the chain, please do not switch on your bike, put it in the first gear and let the chain do its work while you are just sitting here spraying the cleaner and lubing it. Don't do that if you love your fingers. It's a pointed sprocket. You're gonna lose your fingers in just a matter of seconds if you do that, so please don't do that. In the entire process, just ensure that you rotate your rear wheel in the reverse direction with your hands. So that would be the safest method to play around with the sprockets and chain. The gold is completely clean with no debris around. The sprocket is clean as well. Each and every single teeth has been cleaned. Unable to access the front sprocket right now, so I do it whenever I got to replace the clutch fluid, because for accessing the front sprocket I need to open the left fairing and the clutch push rod cover. Okay, two little pointers before you start washing the bike. Do not leave my key in the keyhole. There are chances that the water might start entering this thing from the key. And second thing is, I use these exhaust plugs to make sure that the pressurized water is not entering the mufflers and starting to rust everything inside. Our main purpose is to touch the bike as less as possible and let water do all the work. So in the first step, using the power wash, the first level of dirt that does not need any physical contact to get it off the paint would be removed. So for the snow foam wash, I have the world best MJJC snow foam lens. far as the snow foam concentrate is concerned, I have got it from Amazon. It's a 500 ml bottle with pH neutral properties. So 10% of this is required in whatever amount of water you take for the foam lines. Snow foam is done. I'm gonna be leaving it like this for a couple of minutes to let all the second layer of dirt get loose by reacting with this thing.
A few moments later.
Most of the soapy water has drained down. First step of contact type washing, I have the wash and wax concentrate, and I'm going to be using the 2 bucket method. This one, the blue one, is from where I'll be picking up the soap and apply on the bike, and the red one, that is where I'll be cleaning off my mitt before dipping it into the blue one. Please ensure that your buckets are clean. There's no dirt or debris left over inside from your previous wash. This is the mitt. So when you rinse it off in this one, just make sure that you don't push the mitt all the way to the bottom, because bottom is where all the dirt that is coming off the bike will be settling. This mitt is only for the top half of the bike, for the wheels and the bottom part where there are more chances of the filth getting stuck. For that I'll be using a separate mitt just to keep it away from the other painted areas. So this is the reason why you should use 2 bucket method. Can you see the color of water over here in the red bucket? Keep on replacing this. Look at that filth. That is what's left over at the bottom. Entire contact type touch wash is completed. The next aim is to again rinse it off with regular water without soap to ensure that there's no soap left over on the entire bike. So far we are completed with around 5 different washes. You will still see the leftovers of bugs and tar like this on your paint. Here it is. These little spots, they don't go easily. and they are stuck on the surface. Even a contact wash have not been able to get them off the paint. Basically it's everywhere, and to remove that you cannot just scratch it off the surface. That would definitely damage the paint. So we'll be using a clay bar. This is the clay that I'm using. This is how it looks. This much should be fine to at least cover 60% of the bike. The surface should be a little bit wet, not completely wet or not at all dry. It should be little bit wet, which is right now, and if it isn't, then you got to use a small sprayer or something, or a wet cloth, and while it is gonna slide on the surface, it will collect all the bugs and tar in it. If you can see, there are a lot of small dots on it, which this thing has collected from the paint. I'll be doing it on the entire grey colored painted surface on the bike, as well as the headlamp, tail lamp and the indicators. So once the surface gets contaminated, so many times you got to keep on folding the clay, and at one point of time when you see that there's too much of filth collected on this clay, then you got to dispose it. Almost 4.5 hours are done with the clay bar. Very important thing, just throw this away once you are done, because this thing has all the leftover sticky particles from the paint surface, so there's no point in using this again. Just discard it. All the washing related processes have been completed finally. Now I'll be taking the bike inside and the drying process will start. This is my set of microfiber towels. Each colors have been dedicated for different purposes. We'll explain it later. Starting off with the purple one. Purple will be going through all the places on the top half, 60% top, 70-60% of the bike, only on the painted grey colored parts. Of course on the seat and tail lamps and everything. So it will be used on the surface areas where there are minimal chances for any leftovers possible. Done with the purple one. Now I'll be using the blue one. Blue one will be used on some of the components like the exhaust mufflers, the swing arm, and the push rod casing, this portion over here, the tail tidy. Done with the blue one, the black one to do the underbelly and lowermost parts of the bike, that includes the wheels as well. Red means alert and that is the most dirtiest one. So this one will be used to specifically clean the entire sprocket area. This looks beautiful. Can't stop smiling looking at this, because this is the portion that stays dirty all around the year, no matter how much you clean it. So this is the one time where I work really hard to make sure that this particular area looks clean and rich. Done with all the microfiber clothes. We're using this Bosch leaf blower. We'll just blow some air on it, and simultaneously we'll keep on wiping with the purple cloth, and then once I'm sure that there's no water trapped on the entire motorcycle, then I will start waxing it. Very widely used Carnauba wax. Let's start applying this on all the painted surfaces in grey color. Got to make sure that it's not coming in contact with all the decals on the bike, otherwise the crevices would absorb this thing and then it would be tough to get it out. Same thing needs to be taken care for all the joints. So all these edges over here, the panel joints over here, those needs to be kept away from this wax. Other than that, the logo over here, the sticker over here, all that needs to be taken care of, so shouldn't be coming in contact with this thing. And if it does, then later on we'll do the correction to remove it. There is one thing that always needs to be taken care of when you are detailing or washing your bike. That is, whenever you are using a wash mitt to wash the motorcycle, or the microfiber towel to dry it off, or this sponge to apply wax, never use circular motions. Always use linear motions, or or the horizontal motions. But if you are using horizontal, then maintain it throughout the time. I generally prefer going lengthwise because that's easy to work on. That helps in retaining the clear coat on the top of the paint, and that reduces the chance of the swirl marks that are caused at microscopic levels. So this is one of the very important points when you are washing or detailing your motorcycles. The bike has been coated with the wax. Finally, now I'll be leaving it to bake itself for a while. Then we'll be using that yellow microfiber to wipe the wax off. Next thing I'll be doing is coating this, all the black plastic trims on the bike. So it's over here, also on the dash. That I'll be coating using olive oil, the cooking olive oil, using a cloth. has been applied, and next thing I'll be doing the tire polish. Alright, back to what we started with. So now I'll be lubing the chain. So there are O-rings between these plates of the chains. The O-rings are the sensitive area which needs lubrication and not these links. So I am pushing on the grease right over and above on the sides and like above and below the O-rings. Last but not the least, I always spray paint my side stand shoe. For everyone who keeps their bike covered, I personally prefer this. This is a satin cloth. So it has got, this is the matte side that is visible right now, but the one in the inside is the shiny and the smooth one. So that stays in contact with the bike. Two benefits. It has the least potential to scratch the clear coat in case if the dust has deposited on the bike's surface. And yes, of course, not to forget, while I take it off, I always get the feeling of a new bike getting delivered to me. So yeah, that is one of the best feelings.